Do I need a divorce or a legal separation? California actually treats these as two distinct options on the very same form, and the differences between them are more specific than most people expect. Here's what actually changes. Both cases start on the same document, Form FL-100, the petition. Near the top of the form, you select which type of case you're filing: dissolution, meaning divorce, legal separation, or nullity. The rest of the form, and much of the process that follows, generally runs on a similar track either way. The single biggest difference is marital status itself. A dissolution ends the marriage. Once judgment is entered, you're legally divorced and you're free to remarry. A legal separation does not end the marriage. You and your spouse remain legally married throughout and afterward, even though a legal separation case can still address the same issues a divorce would: dividing property and debts, spousal support, and custody and support if you have children. Two procedural differences follow directly from that. First, residency. California generally requires at least one spouse to have lived in the state for 6 months and in the filing county for 3 months before you can file for divorce. Legal separation doesn't require meeting that residency test at all, since it isn't asking the court to end anything, just to formally address the terms of living apart. Second, the waiting period. California imposes a mandatory 6-month and 1-day waiting period before a divorce can be finalized, and that period cannot be shortened or waived for any reason. Legal separation carries no equivalent waiting period, since there's no marital status being changed at the end of it. It's worth clearing up a common mix-up here, too. Being separated, meaning living apart from your spouse, is not the same thing as a legal separation. Plenty of couples live separately for months or years without ever filing anything with the court. A legal separation, by contrast, is a formal court case using the same FL-100 petition that results in an actual court order addressing property, support, and custody, even though the marriage itself continues. So, why would a couple choose legal separation over divorce at all? A common reason is the residency requirement itself. A couple who hasn't yet lived in California long enough to file for divorce can generally file for legal separation right away instead, since it doesn't require meeting that test. Other couples choose it for personal or religious reasons that make ending the marriage itself something they'd rather not do, at least for now. And some couples use it while sorting out benefits or coverage that are tied to marital status, since whether a specific benefit is affected depends entirely on that benefit's own rules and is worth checking directly rather than assuming. If your circumstances change, a legal separation case doesn't have to stay a legal separation case. Once you meet California's residency requirement, a legal separation can generally be converted into a dissolution, moving the case toward actually ending the marriage, rather than just formalizing the separation. That conversion generally still means the 6-month waiting period applies from that point forward, since it only attaches once you're actually seeking to end the marriage, not while the case was proceeding as a legal separation. Beyond those specific differences, the paperwork process for a legal separation generally mirrors a divorce case, using many of the same core forms for disclosures, agreements, and final judgment. The real decision point is usually less about the forms and more about whether you and your spouse are looking to formally end the marriage or to address the practical terms of living apart while the marriage itself continues. Whichever path fits your situation, the underlying paperwork, disclosures, property terms, and any custody arrangement needs to be complete and consistent either way. Virdix's guided questionnaire covers both dissolution and legal separation on Form FL-100, so your case starts on the right track from the very first form. Virdix is a document preparation service, not a law firm, so this is not legal advice. And for advice about your specific situation, talk to a licensed attorney. You can start at virdix.co.